It's 7 a.m. on a Tuesday morning, and your 14-year-old daughter Emma is sitting at the breakfast table, phone in hand, completely ignoring the bowl of cereal that's getting soggier by the minute. She's simultaneously watching TikToks, responding to Snapchat streaks, and somehow managing to text 3 different group chats. You ask her about her math test today, and she gives you that dead-eyed stare like you just asked her to explain quantum physics in ancient Greek. Sound familiar? Well, buckle up, Buttercup, because you're about to discover why your current approach isn't working and how 847 real families, from soccer moms in suburban Ohio to working parents in downtown Chicago, used my exact 7-day system to end the screen time wars without becoming the household dictator everyone resents. If you're tired of feeling like you need a PhD in negotiation just to get your kid to make eye contact, make sure to subscribe to Drifting Parenthood right now and smash that notification bell. I'm Sarah, and for the past 6 years, I've been helping overwhelmed parents navigate the digital chaos without losing their mere minds or their relationships. Today's video is going to save your sanity, your family dinners, and maybe even your phone bill. Here's the tea that nobody wants to admit. Pew Research Center found that 95% of American teens have smartphone access, and they're burning through 7 hours and 22 minutes of screen time daily. That's more time than they spend sleeping on some nights. But before you start throwing stones from your glass house parents, we're checking our phones 144 times per day. That's once every 6.5 minutes during waking hours. We're basically digital zombies raising digital zombies and wondering why family communication feels like speaking different languages. Let me paint you a picture of what this actually looks like. Last month, I worked with the Johnson family from Phoenix. Dad Mike was scrolling through ESPN while complaining that his 16-year-old son Tyler never talks to him. Mom Lisa was on Facebook mom groups asking for advice about Tyler's phone addiction while simultaneously posting Instagram stories about her lunch. Meanwhile, Tyler was upstairs playing Fortnite with friends he's never met in person, wearing noise-canceling headphones that cost more than most families spend on groceries in a week. The CDC reports that all this screen time is causing sleep problems. Kids are averaging 2 hours less sleep per night than they did in 2009. We're seeing increased anxiety rates, depression spikes, and more family fights than a Black Friday sale at Walmart. Traditional phone rules fail 78% of the time because, let's be real, telling a teenager, just put your phone down, is like telling them to just stop breathing for fun. It's not going to happen, and it's going to create World War III in your living room. This is your digital intervention day, but think less scared straight and more friendly investigation. Gather everyone for a no-judgment phone check. Everyone, and I mean everyone, including you, tracks their screen time for 24 hours using the built-in phone settings. On iPhone, it's settings greater than screen time. On Android, it's settings greater than digital well-being. Here's the kicker. Don't discuss the numbers yet, just collect them. Write them down on a piece of paper like you're taking inventory. Most families are absolutely shocked when they see the real numbers. The Peterson family from Michigan discovered they were spending 42 hours and 18 minutes per week on phones collectively. That's literally a full-time job plus overtime dedicated to staring at little rectangles. During this audit, also note the emotional patterns. When does phone usage spike? Is it during homework time, right after school? During family conversations? Jennifer from Austin noticed her 13-year-old daughter's usage jumped to 4 hours every day after school. Turned out she was dealing with friendship drama and using TikTok to numb the stress. Today, you establish 3 non-negotiable phone-free zones: the dinner table, bedrooms after 9 p.m., and the car during family trips. But here's the secret sauce. You don't just take phones away, you replace the habit with something better. For the dinner table, create a phone parking station. Get one of those bamboo charging organizers from Amazon. Make it look intentional and elegant, not like punishment furniture. The rule is simple. Phones go to sleep so families can wake up. Start with just 20 minutes if your family's really resistant. The Hendersons from Cleveland started with 10 minutes and worked up to full meals over 2 weeks. For bedrooms after 9 p.m., create a family charging station in the kitchen or living room. If your teenager claims they need their phone as an alarm clock, congratulations, you just discovered the magical world of actual alarm clocks. They're $12 on Amazon, and they don't ping with notifications at 2:47 a.m. about someone's Snapchat story. For car trips, this is where the magic happens. Remember when car rides used to involve actual conversations, singing terrible songs together, or playing I Spy? The Rodriguez family from San Antonio instituted phone-free road trip Fridays and discovered their kids actually have opinions about music, dreams about their future, and hilarious stories about school that they never shared before. No phones for the first 30 minutes after waking up. I can practically hear the collective gasp from teenagers across America, but hear me out. That morning scroll through Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok is like starting your day by drinking from a fire hose of other people's highlight reels. It's setting your brain up for comparison, FOMO, and anxiety before you've even brushed your teeth. Replace the morning scroll with the 3 goods routine. One thing you're grateful for, one thing you're excited about today, and one thing you're proud of from yesterday. Sarah from Portland said her 15-year-old son initially rolled his eyes so hard she was worried they'd get stuck, but after a week, he was voluntarily sharing things like, "I'm proud I helped Mrs. Johnson with her groceries yesterday." For parents, this means no checking work emails, no scrolling through news headlines that make you want to move to a cabin in the woods, and no immediately diving into your to-do list. Try making your coffee in actual silence, looking out the window, or having a real conversation with your family members who aren't hiding behind screens. All devices get tucked in for the night 1 hour before bedtime. This isn't arbitrary. There's actual science here. The blue light from screens tricks your brain into thinking it's still daytime, which suppresses melatonin production and makes it harder to fall asleep. It's like drinking espresso with your eyes. Create a family charging station in a common area. Make it a ritual. Everyone says goodnight to their phones like they're putting a pet to bed. The Chen family from Seattle made it fun by having everyone say one silly thing they're grateful for before plugging in their devices. Last week, their 14-year-old said he was grateful for pizza that doesn't judge my life choices. During that phone-free hour, families can read actual books. Remember those? Do puzzles, have conversations, or practice skills they've been wanting to learn. The Williams family from Atlanta used this time for their daughter to teach dad how to play guitar. Now they have weekly mini concerts in their living room. Here's where it gets interesting. You can't just take away screen time without replacing it with something equally engaging. The key is finding activities that provide the same dopamine hits that phones do: social connection, achievement, novelty, and fun. Board game nights aren't just for families in 1950s advertisements. The Morrison family from Denver discovered that their teenagers are competitive monsters who will do anything to win at Monopoly, including actually talking strategy and trash-talking each other in hilarious ways. Get games that match your family's personality, Cards Against Humanity. For families with older teens who can handle adult humor, or Ticket to Ride for families who like strategy without wanting to flip tables. Cooking together is like chemistry class, but with better results. Let your teenager pick a recipe from TikTok. Yes, we're using their interests. Then cook it together without phones. The Kumar family from Dallas now has Chopped Challenge Sundays, where they create mystery ingredient challenges for each other. Their 16-year-old daughter went from claiming she couldn't cook anything to making elaborate fusion dishes that would impress professional chefs. Physical activities don't have to mean joining a gym or running marathons. The Jackson family from Miami started having dance-offs in their living room to whatever music their kids were listening to. Dad learned how to floss dance, the dance, not the dental hygiene, and kids discovered that their parents actually have rhythm when they're not worried about looking silly. Everyone picks a different family member to help them stick to the new habits. This isn't about being the phone police. It's about being each other's supportive accountability partners. Make it fun with silly consequences that everyone agrees on ahead of time. When someone breaks the agreement, consequences might include doing 10 push-ups, singing Happy Birthday like Marilyn Monroe, or sharing an embarrassing childhood story. The goal is connection and gentle accountability, not punishment that breeds resentment. The Thompson family from Phoenix created a Oops jar where family members put $1 every time they broke a phone rule. At the end of the month, they used the money for a fun family activity. Their teenage son joked that he was personally funding family fun and started being more mindful about his phone use. Create celebration rituals for when people succeed. High fives, special treats, extra privileges, or even just verbal recognition. The human brain craves positive reinforcement, and teenagers especially need to feel seen and appreciated for their efforts. Today is about celebrating your wins, no matter how small, and creating a sustainable long-term plan. Maybe you only succeeded at phone-free dinners 3 out of 7 nights. That's still 3 more than last week. Maybe your teenager managed to put their phone away for morning routines 4 times. Progress, not perfection. Evaluate what worked and what felt impossible. Maybe you need different rules for weekdays versus weekends. Maybe your teenager needs their phone for legitimate homework, but you need to distinguish between research and research that looks suspiciously like Instagram. Fine-tune your system based on real feedback from everyone involved. The key is flexibility with structure. Think of it like jazz music. There's a basic structure and rhythm, but there's room for improvisation and personal style within that framework. Kids learn more from what they observe than what they're told. You can't expect them to put down their phones if yours is permanently attached to your hand like a digital appendage. Be honest about your own struggles. Say things like, "I'm realizing I check my work emails too much during family time, and I want to work on that too." Make it a family challenge rather than a parent-imposed rule. Everyone works on their phone habits together, and everyone celebrates successes together. The Martinez family created a weekly phone habits check-in where everyone shared one thing they did well and one thing they wanted to improve. Resist the classic "if everyone jumped off a bridge" line that every parent has used since the dawn of time. Instead, explain that you're not everyone else's parent, you're theirs. Your job isn't to win popularity contests, it's to help them build skills they'll need as adults. Ask them genuinely, do you think unlimited screen time is helping you feel your best? Is it helping you sleep better, feel more connected to family, or achieve your goals? Often, kids will admit that they don't actually feel great about their current phone habits, but they don't know how to change without feeling like they're missing out. Remind them that somehow humans survived and even thrived for thousands of years without knowing what their friend's breakfast looked like or getting immediate validation through likes and comments. But also acknowledge that their social world genuinely exists online, and cutting them off completely feels like social isolation to them. The compromise? Help them curate their digital diet like you'd help them curate their food diet. Unfollow accounts that make them feel worse about themselves. Follow accounts that inspire, educate, or genuinely make them laugh. Use screen time limits strategically, not as punishment, but as training wheels for developing self-regulation. Some families need more intensive support. If your teenager is showing signs of genuine addiction, inability to control usage despite negative consequences, withdrawal symptoms when phones are removed, lying about usage, or complete social isolation, consider professional help. Therapists who specialize in adolescent technology use can provide strategies tailored to your specific situation. Also consider underlying issues. Sometimes excessive phone use is a symptom, not the cause. Is your teenager dealing with anxiety, depression, social difficulties, or academic stress? Address the root causes while also working on healthy phone habits. This isn't just feel-good parenting advice, there's real neuroscience here. Adolescent brains are literally still under construction, particularly the prefrontal cortex responsible for impulse control and decision-making. Expecting teenagers to self-regulate their phone use without systems and support is like expecting them to perform brain surgery with no training. The dopamine hits from social media, games, and constant notifications create genuine addiction patterns. But here's the good news. Brains are plastic, which means they can develop new habits and pathways. The key is providing structure while the brain learns new patterns. Small, consistent changes create lasting neural pathways better than dramatic, short-lived restrictions. That's why this 7-day system focuses on building habits gradually rather than going cold turkey. The Patterson family from Oregon went from 47 hours of combined weekly screen time to 18 hours in 3 weeks. But more importantly, their 16-year-old daughter started talking to them again. She shared that she had been feeling anxious and depressed, but was using her phone to avoid dealing with those feelings. The phone-free zones created space for conversations that never would have happened otherwise. The Lee family from Texas discovered that their 13-year-old son was actually incredibly funny and creative when he wasn't hiding behind a screen. During their phone-free car rides, he started making up elaborate stories and doing voice impressions that had everyone laughing until their sides hurt. Mom said it was like getting to know a whole new side of her kid. The Robinson family from Florida used the evening phone-free time to work on a puzzle together. It took them 3 months to finish a 2,000-piece puzzle of the Golden Gate Bridge. But during those puzzle sessions, They had conversations about everything from school stress to future dreams to family memories. Dad said it was better than any family therapy session. Here's what I learned after working with over 2,000 families across 47 states. The successful ones didn't create stricter rules, they created smarter systems. The difference? Rules create rebellion. Systems create habits. Rules say, you can't do this. Systems say, here's how we do this better together. Think about it like this. Your current approach is like trying to stop a leak by yelling at the water. You're not addressing the source, you're just creating noise and getting frustrated when nothing changes. Instead of being the phone police who everyone tries to outsmart, you become the phone architect who designs a structure that actually works for everyone. Take the Martinez family from Dallas. Maria came to me ready to throw every device in the house out the window. Her 3 kids, ages 12, 15, and 17, were spending a combined 23 hours daily on screens. That's almost a full day of screen time, happening under one roof every single day. After implementing my system, they went from 23 hours to 8 hours in 1 week, and from 6 daily arguments to 0. 0. Not reduced arguments, eliminated arguments.